This is Emily, and when she was 16, alcohol made her vulnerable to a traumatic experience.
Harry Potter books, I'm like a massive geek about drawing. Like, I never stop drawing. I've been told I'm good at giving advice, but not taking my own advice at the same time.
The following is what Emily remembers of the incident.
I'd had a bad week, like sort of personal problems, and I was having a really bad day. I was already out with a few mates just in town, and one of them was 18 already, and everyone was just chilled and having a laugh. So I was like, yeah, it'll cheer me up a bit after the week that I'd had. So that was my general idea for going out drinking. My mate then went to the shop, bought everyone beer. I'd given them money to buy me a bottle of vodka. So everyone was just chilled on this field, just all having a drink. When we first started drinking, I still felt down about having my bad week. And then the more I was drinking, more tipsy, I started having a laugh. I could assume that I was probably slurring my words, I was giggling at everything. Couldn't walk in a straight line. I felt better with myself, I felt like, yeah, I've cheered up a lot now.
Alcohol affects the brain's chemical messengers, called neurotransmitters, which control our thoughts, behaviour, movement and emotions. Alcohol increases the concentration of two neurotransmitters, called GABA and dopamine. This reduces our inhibitions and makes us feel temporarily happier.
We finished the few of the drinks off and we started walking back in towards the town centre. I saw a few of my other mates. And a couple of them who were 18, 19 said they were going around town and asked did I want to go with them. So I went with them to a bar not far from where we were. I started by getting my friends to buy my drinks at the bar just so I didn't run the risk of getting ID'd at the bar. I was drinking pints, I had a few shots. I was drinking quite a lot. After a while, I started thinking about how bad my week had been, and I started getting down. I was like, oh, I'll have another drink, it'll cheer me up. And it wasn't, I just kept feeling worse and worse and started crying. And I went outside for some fresh air. And the minute the fresh air hit me, I felt even more drunk. My head was spinning all over the place. And I was sick outside. I was just like crying, being sick. Wasn't really aware of what was going on around me.
The inner ear helps the body stay balanced. Alcohol can change the inner ear's sensitivity to gravity, making it hard for you to coordinate your movements and making you feel dizzy, as if everything is spinning around you. Alcohol also irritates the stomach where it's absorbed into the bloodstream. This makes the stomach vomit out its contents.
So my friends who I was with were saying, right, well, which one of us are going to get home? And they were both drunk as well. And just as everyone was deciding was also in front, a lad who we all knew walked past and he came over talking to us and he was like, is she okay? And like, yeah, she's just a bit drunk and upset. And he was like, well, I've not had a drink, so do you want me to get her home and you can stay in the bar? And my mate's like, yeah, okay. And he said he was going to walk me to the taxi office. So I just left with him and I could not see where I was walking at all. Just like following him, like trusting him to take me somewhere. After I'd say about what felt to me about 10, 15 minutes of walking, I realised that we was on a field and my legs buckled underneath me, sort of near a ditch. And I was laid there and I tried to get myself back up and realised that I couldn't move. And I tried saying something to him and I couldn't speak. And I remember thinking to myself, why isn't he helping me back up? And he came in front of me and he pulled my legs straight and he pulled my dress up. I was thinking to myself, what's he doing? And I was trying to say to myself, just push him off. And I was proper willing myself and I just couldn't move at all. And I was like, why can't I move? And I wanted to scream and cry. And he lay on top of me and started kissing me and I wasn't responding at all. Like, all I wanted to do was like get him off me and just scream at him and hit him. I wasn't doing anything, he was kissing me. He was like running his hands all over my body. And And he just carried on and wouldn't get off. And like, he tried to do other things. He put his hands up my dress and on my legs and everything else and tried doing other stuff. And I just remember like in my head screaming as loud as I could, just willing myself to actually make a noise. And I just couldn't do anything. And I don't know how long it had been, but to me it felt like forever. He just got up, pulled my dress down, kissed me again and just left me in the ditch. And I just blacked out at that point.
Inside Emily's body, alcohol was flowing around her bloodstream and into her vital organs. She eventually lost consciousness and passed out as her brain shut down.
Because of what actually happened that night, it ended up affecting my mental health more than anything. I couldn't sleep in my own bed for a few weeks after that. I spent most nights sleeping on the couch, would be crying most nights. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I could feel like the weight of him on top of me. I could hear his voice in my head. If I'd been a bit more sober that night, I wouldn't have said, oh yeah, I'm just going to leave with him. Like, I'd have asked one of my friends who I knew closer, would they come with me? Instead of just going off with some lad who I knew the name of and had spoke to him a couple of times. A lot of my friends were saying, it wasn't your fault, it wasn't your fault. I blamed myself a lot for a long time, and it made me really depressed for a long time as well. When I was in school, like, there was the popular group. You'd hear the stories, like, of how good their night was after having a few drinks. You just think, yeah, that sounds dead good, but you never actually heard how ill they were the next day. But no one ever discusses the worst stuff. It's just always, yeah, it was a fun night.